Progress.
Oh. Okay, so hey, listen, I want to thank everyone who's here right now and those who will join here shortly for coming this evening. Terry, I love your story of how you arrived. You got something, a flyer in your door, and you showed up, and I really appreciate that. I think that's really outstanding. So thank you for being here. Janelle, a friend of mine, also made the trek. She drove in from Kansas City. I mean, granted, you're kind of local, but still, you made it here in time to be here for this evening. So thank you. And my sister Lauren, and then my mom, Harriet Rowe. They're both on. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to introduce Blair Critch. This is Blair. You can see her up there. Blair is a retired kindergarten teacher. She lives with her husband Ryan and their two teenage boys. And you heard her mention South Florida. They just came out of, what was that, Hurricane Nicole. Okay, in South Florida. Her husband Ryan is a real estate broker. And Blair began her business with the company we're going to share about this evening 8 years ago. And within less than 3 years, just under the 3-year mark, Blair earned the $1 Million Earner Award in the company. So the company that we're speaking of is Level, L-E-V-E-L. And the product that we're sharing, the premium nutrition we're sharing this evening, is in fact Thrive. It's a Thrive product line. So Blair has continued to have tremendous success. She has inspired me to share this with more and more folks, and I've picked her brain as to how best to do that. So she's phenomenal in that way. She has built a number of teams, and she has over 466 people on her team who have earned the auto or the car bonus at this time. So that's a testament to her ability to build these teams and to share the message of this premium nutrition and how it's helped her in her life, like she'll share here shortly, and helping those around her. So, Blair, it's you, all you. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. And I love this idea of having some people in person, some people online. So I love that. I'm so glad you guys made it out tonight. I know that when it's cold, it's probably even harder to get out. So I'm so excited you guys are here tonight. And I'm going to share a little bit about my story, how I got started, what this product has done for me, and then share with you a little bit more. And if you guys have any questions, obviously Allison will answer them. And if she can't, we will get you the answer. But I'm just so excited to be on here today because, like Allison said, I am super passionate about sharing these products because they completely changed my life, my husband's life, my in-laws, my parents, and so many hundreds of friends and family members of ours. So my story began 8 years ago when a friend reached out to me and just simply said, "Hey, Blair, you've been complaining a lot about headaches, neck discomfort, and not sleeping great at night, and that you wanted to lose weight. I think I have something that might help you." Well, honestly, I was like, okay, sure. What is it? And she said, it's a non-GMO, gluten-free, plant-based vitamin supplement system. And that's when I said, no, thank you. Because I had this whole cabinet in my kitchen full of vitamin supplements, detoxes, cleanses, like you name it, I probably had it. And I found two things to be true. One was I didn't feel any different on them. So why would I, keep taking it? It was a pain. Or maybe they did work, but they were so complex. I had to take different things throughout the day and I couldn't remember. I had 2 little boys at the time. And so they just sat there and it was a waste of money for me and for my family. And so when she told me it was vitamins again, I was like, no, thank you. Not interested. But I watched for 6 months. And there were 2 things that happened during that 6 months. One was a bunch of our mutual friends on Facebook tried the product and loved it. And they couldn't stop talking about it. And then they were tagging people. And then those people were tagging people. And I saw all these people that they were friends with talking about how great they were feeling. And I was still feeling horrible. But I just thought, like, that's the way it should be in your late 30s. Like, I'm getting ready to be 40. Maybe that's just aches and discomforts, headaches, not sleeping great. Like, that's just part of it, right? Digestive issues. I remember even going to get a bunch of tests done. And my doctor came back and was like, no autoimmune, you should be so excited. No fibromyalgia, you should be excited. And I wasn't, because I was like, I feel horrible. Like something has to be wrong. And yet there was nothing wrong at that time. So it was July of 2014. I had been watching for 6 months. First thing was everyone loving it. Second thing that intrigued me was 3 of the girls plus my friend, so 4, had earned auto bonus, which means that their car was getting paid for by the company. And all I could think is, if these women are earning that so quickly, it has to be working for the people that are sharing it with, or they wouldn't be able to maintain and get a car from the company. And so I just thought, okay, I'm going to give this a chance. And I even remember thinking like, oh, how am I going to afford this? Because at the time I really honestly couldn't. But my friend was like, okay, let's look at what you're spending money on that's not serving you. And I was definitely going to Starbucks a couple times a week with my kids in the afternoon, evening on the way to practices, just to like get me through the night on the night that we had those. And that's like, $15, $20 a pop, because by the time I got my fun drink, coffee drink, and then their cake pops, and then, they want chocolate milk, whatever, $20 later, I'm rolling out of Starbucks. And I was doing that about 2 times a week. And so that was $40 a week, $160 a month that my friend made me realize I was spending money on. Plus the fact that I was taking, I hate to say this, but I was literally taking Advil and Tylenol every single day at that point in my life, because I was either having a headache every day or I was having neck discomfort every day. So there was that. And then I was already taking a bunch of different vitamins, like I said, but they were really just sitting in the cabinet. So my friend was like, just order it. Let's see what can happen. Well, when the product came in, the very first thing I noticed was the simplicity. And if you've never seen Thrive before, it's 3 simple steps. You wake up in the morning, you take a capsule on an empty stomach. Allison's got some examples there for you. And then you wait 20 to 40 minutes. You take our lifestyle mix, and then you put on our DFT, which stands for Derma Fusion Technology. And basically all 3 products work together in synergy to fill in the nutritional gaps in your body. So what I noticed those first couple of days is, this is brilliant. It's so simple and easy. And I might actually be able to stick with this for once in my life. But then I also kind of noticed I didn't really want my cup of coffee. I'd have a couple sips and be done. I noticed that I was really craving fruits and vegetables and water, which I was like, that's really interesting. But it was really the morning of day 4. I realized I didn't hit the snooze button when I woke up that morning. When the alarm went off, I didn't hit that 5 times like I had for years before that. And I realized I was like ready to take on the day. I was actually excited about the day. And prior to that, whether I had 4 hours of sleep or 12 hours of sleep, I always woke up tired. So that was different. That afternoon around 4 o'clock, when I normally would either be grabbing that extra cup of coffee or begging one of my kids to watch a TV show on the couch so I could honestly just take a nap. And I didn't want to do that. I was outside playing basketball with my boys. And that was like a huge light bulb moment for me. Wow, I really do feel better, but let's see if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I remember thinking that because I thought I have so much energy and I feel so good. Like, what if this messes up with my sleep? And sure enough, after my kids went to bed, I had a full conversation with my husband. I'll never forget that, because he was like, who are you? Because prior to that, I had been going to bed as soon as my kids went to sleep at night. And so that was interesting. But when I put my head on the pillow that night, I slept amazing. Woke up the next morning feeling great again. And by Saturday, my husband said, okay, whatever this has been this week, I want some. You have been in a good mood. You've cooked dinner every night. You've been outside playing with the kids when I get home. I can just tell a difference in you. You are back to your old self. And that was really exciting for me, because like I told you, I had been like kind of going through all these tests, like what's wrong? Why do I feel kind of like blue and just yucky and having headaches and neck discomfort? I just couldn't figure it out. And so here I am a weekend already feeling absolutely amazing. And so that day, my husband actually ordered the Thrive experience for himself. And my friend Elise said, if you get 2 people to order underneath you in the same month, you get your product for free the following month and keep getting it for free as long as you have 2 people ordering, whether you're a customer or a promoter. And I'm kind of one of those people anyways, that's a loudmouth. Like when Whole Foods puts ground beef on sale near me, I'm like texting all my friends, right? Like that's just who I am. Like my favorite holiday, like actually, here's a great example. Today, if you guys don't know this, here's a great tip. The Today Show every Thursday puts out these deals and steals. Today, I was like texting all my friends because there's things on there that are great Christmas gifts and they're like 75% off. So I'm like texting everyone. That's just the way I've always been. So in my mind, I thought, of course, I'm going to share it with 2 people if I like it, because why wouldn't I want it for free? I share stuff anyways and get paid 0 for it. So my husband was the first one to order. Second person to order was actually my best friend, because the next day she saw me and said, what new skincare line are you using? Because your face is glowing. And the only thing I had changed were my vitamin supplements. And she said, you know what? Now that you say that, you were at workout every single day this week. And normally I make up some excuse to not go, because she's really into working out and I'm not, and I wasn't feeling good. So half the time I wasn't even making it. And so that was really exciting. The two of them ordered, the product came in for them, and they had very different experiences than me. My husband's actually a recovering alcoholic, as well as he had a pain pill addiction to oxycodone. And so at this time, when we started Thriving, he was already 2 years sober. But I can tell you, he felt like crap every single day. So it didn't matter that he was sober. Like, that was great for our family and our life, but he felt horrible every single day. And he was trying to work out. He was trying to do all these different things that people were telling him would help, meditate, this, that, but it didn't matter what he did. He felt horrible. And so the fact that within the first 2 weeks of being on Thrive, he started to feel different. He was like, Blair, I feel normal again. Like, I feel good. My mental clarity is great. My mood is great. My knees aren't bothering me. And that's actually a little backstory for why he was addicted to pain pills, was he had multiple knee surgeries. So here he was, he's like, I think I'm going to go for a run. And I remember thinking, no, please don't go for a run, because I don't want you to get hurt again. Like, the last thing we need is for you to have a surgery. But sure enough, he went for a run. And over the last 8 years, this guy has like been running, working out again, Peloton, golfing again. Like, it has really, and he'll say this, he's like, it has saved my life. It brought him back to himself. And then my best friend, Allison, is a teacher. And so within the very first week, she was like, oh my gosh, Blair, like, my mental clarity is amazing. I'm not having to leave 100 sticky notes all over the room to try to remember things. And she was just so excited about how great she felt and how much energy she had. And so for me, it was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, if it's doing all of this for me and for my friends, I really need to look into this company a little bit more. And I need to make sure, number one, that the efficacy is there, that these are really clean and good products if I'm going to share it with more people. And sorry, I'm getting a hot flash, you guys. It's just life. I got to turn on the fan. And so for me, it was like, I need to know that these are good products, that these are clean. I need to research it. But I also want to know a little bit about the business, because if I like what I see, I'm going to want to share it with others. So for me, I really went on a journey of learning about the products, about the company, and I really fell in love with it, because we are one of the few companies in the United States that is completely manufactured in the United States. We are GMP certified, which means every 4 months, the government comes into our facilities, cleans it out completely, checks to make sure that everything we say is in the products is in the product and nothing else. So no synthetics, no fillers. We get this stamp of approval called GMP, which allows us to then use the cleanest and highest quality organic farms in the United States. And because of that, we're able to have a very high quality product, which is called premium quality vitamins, which is only the top 2% of all vitamins. So the top 2% is premium. The middle is 96% commercial grade. That's Whole Foods, GNC, CVS, most places where you can find vitamins, they're going to be commercial grade. And then the bottom 2% is for animals. So the fact that we're in that top 2%, that we also pay out of our own pocket to get a third-party audit of every single farm that we use in the United States, and the trucking systems to take that produce and those vitamins to our facility and manufacture it. So I know that whatever I'm giving other people is very clean and healthy. And when you look at the ingredient list, you're not going to see anything there that you've never seen before. Actually, you might even be taking some of those products. And what's cool is it's the technology with the premium quality that makes you feel the difference. Where if maybe like me, you have been on vitamins many times in your life, but never felt different. This is why people feel the difference in our products within the very first week of being on them. So again, the simplicity, the efficacy, the premium quality, all together is why people feel the difference. And when we decided that we were going to put our name by this company, we started sharing it with a bunch of moms and dads, because that's what my husband and I were. You know, we were tired moms and dads that were feeling better. So we started sharing it with those people, but we learned very quickly it's for so much more than that. One of my friend's moms hadn't been able to garden for years because she wasn't able to move her hands. And within the very first week of being on Thrive, she was gardening again. And she called me crying. And I realized, okay, I think she was 82 at the time. She has since passed. But I remember thinking, okay, I need to share this with more people. I need to share this with my mom and her friends and all these people who are having aches and discomforts and aren't feeling good. And then I also had a friend whose son was in college. He's 18 years old. He was having a hard time studying and focusing at school. He wanted to come home. He was miserable. And she sent him Thrive. And within the very first week, he said, Mom, I'm sleeping through the night. I'm showing up to class and I feel so much better. So for me, this product is amazing. I would never go a day without it. But then above and beyond, it's also a product that I know I get to share with others and help them. So Allison, I don't know if you want me to like break down what the 3 products are, or if you're going to do that yourself.
So we still have more time, and that'd be great since you're here with us if you would kind of walk through. I
Sure.
did hand folks a sample of what it looks like. So I think you have the purple. That's the women. I take men's, women's. It it doesn't matter. I just take it.
Yeah.
The purple is the women's, and I just so you could see what it looks like. That's the men's and the blue.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
I remember when I first started, so my husband that Saturday was like, give it to me, I want it. And I happened to text my friend, and she messaged the CEO because the company was pretty new at the time. And he said, oh, listen, there's no hormones in our products. So if a man takes the women's or the women's takes the men's, it doesn't matter. The only difference is that the men's has a little bit stronger of amounts for each of the vitamins, especially for folic acid, because they need a little bit more as they get older. And so because of that, because their body mass is usually larger than women's, but I take the men's because I feel a little bit extra from it. And so that's what I take. And because I'm the only girl in my house, I have 2 teenage boys and my husband, and we all thrive. So it's just easier if I buy all the same. So in my house, I use this. But so basically, when you wake up in the morning, you take this. They broke down the products into 3 simple steps. 1, to make it easy so that people will stick with it. But 2, because they wanted to scientifically, when they worked with the team of scientists, figure out the best way to get it into your body. So everything that's in your capsules are your prebiotics and all the vitamins that your organs need to really jumpstart your day. So that's why you'll hear people call these the jumper cables, because it's really to jumper cable your organs to get them going in the morning. And so you take this with a full glass of water. You wait anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes later, you take our lifestyle mix. Now, mine's vegan. It's chocolate. It's my absolute favorite. I'm vegan. So for me, I was so thankful that they have a vegan line. They have strawberry, vanilla, or strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate. But we also have a regular line. The only difference is the regular lifestyle mix have a little bit of whey protein in it. And whey protein does come from milk. So that's why that one can't be vegan. But that one we have strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, candy cane, apple pie, salted caramel, and fudge brownie. So lots of choices. It's ultra micronized, which means you can even pour it into a bottle of water, shake it up, drink it, and you won't have any lumps or bumps in it. Tastes delicious. You can add it to liquid of your choice. I always highly recommend, especially if you're trying to lose weight, to add it to water because it tastes delicious and just reduces the calories, but also because inside of this packet is probiotics, enzymes, amino acids, and more vitamin supplements that your gut needs in order to get busy every single day. So why is it important that we get our gut health in check? Well, because we want to reduce inflammation, and inflammation generally starts in the gut. And when you have inflammation in the gut, it can be linked to disease, it can be linked to cancer, it can be linked to depression, to poor mental clarity, foggy brain, all kinds of things, autoimmune diseases. It can be really bad, but also the probiotics and the enzymes, amino acids, and vitamins that are getting into your gut are also helping to rebalance out the good bacteria and help you get rid of the bad bacteria, which is candida. So that's really awesome too. And that's why they put it in a drink format. So it goes right into the gut and starts working immediately. And then step 3 is the DFT, which stands for Derma Fusion Technology. This patch you can take off at night or first thing in the morning, and you put a new one on after you drink your shake in the morning. And that is any of the vitamins that don't need to be slowed down by your digestive system or your organs. It can go straight into your bloodstream and start working right away. So for example, one of the things that are in our DFT is CoQ10. And I was actually already taking a pill form of CoQ10 before I started on Thrive. Never felt any different from it, but I was taking it because my dad told me it helps to prevent from dementia and Alzheimer's, and that kind of runs in my family. Plus, it's good for heart health, it's good for circulation, and it's good for brain health. So my dad had already given me some CoQ10 tablets, and I've been taking them in a pill format and never felt any different on them. But I tell you what, in this form and the way that it goes into your bloodstream, I have great mental clarity, and I can already tell the difference like within the very first week when I first started. So that's kind of how all 3 products work and how they work together and why they really created it the way they created it. And that's another really thing that I love, is that they're very intentional with everything they do. And you can tell that Alice and I are actually wearing different ones, and that's because it's all customizable. So once you tell us what your goals are, like maybe you have, knee discomfort, or maybe you have some kind of health issue, or maybe you're having a hard time with mental clarity or sleeping at night, we'll point you in the right direction of which DFT is best for you based on the ingredients that are in it and your needs and desires. So yeah, that's it.
That's great. Thank you. That was a wonderful rundown. I appreciate you sharing all of that and then some. One thing I want to share with folks, and speaking of ingredients, I always encourage people, hey, if you definitely check with your healthcare practitioner, take it to them, let them look, because you are the I don't want you to take something that you don't feel comfortable with or you want to, run by your health practitioner. I do have a friend who started thriving and she said she took it to her pain. She goes to a pain specialist. She took it to the pain specialist and the pain specialist, and I was trying to look for the quote because she actually wrote me something, but I couldn't find it. And she said her pain management specialist said, this is like better than some of the stuff that I'm giving you without all the she actually told her that without all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did want to share that.
Easy. I have a holistic doctor and a holistic nurse that I work with. I have my primary care doctor. I have an oncologist because I have a past ovarian cancer history. So I have lots of different people that have checked it out for me, and they've all given me the okay. And some of them actually take it. And we have a doctor of physical therapy on our team. We have some CRNAs on our team. Like we have a lot of people who, have gone through each and every ingredient. But I totally agree, Allison. It's very easy for Allison to set you up with access so that you can see the ingredients and then you can email those over to your doctors or whoever you work with and get the okay from them. I love it when people do it because then it gives them the extra dose of confidence, knowing that what they're putting into their body is going to be okay for them and healthy for them. And if you're on any medications besides just like, we are a diabetic safe company, by the way, as well. But if you're on any medications, it's always a great idea to ask your doctor anyways, because that's the way you make sure that it's not going to interfere with your medications.
Yeah. Mm. Well, let me see. We're at about 6:53. I wanted to check to see if anybody either online or here with me in person, if you have any questions that we could address, yeah, that we could address. Yeah, Janelle.
So what happens if you're taking this for 6 months and then decide, oh, I think I'm good. I'm not going to take it anymore. What happens?
I love that question. I actually just got asked that question today by two other people, and I hadn't heard it in like 6 months because that used to be the number one question that I would get. So it's so funny that you're the third person today. So basically, here's the thing. If you're tired right now and you get started on Thrive, you feel amazing, you get off of Thrive, you're going to be tired again. It's not going to hurt you. It's just vitamin supplements. So it would be like, if you were taking anything else from the grocery store, anywhere else, and you stopped, if they were helping you, you're just going to go back to the way you used to feel. There's nothing in it that will make you addicted except for caffeine. So I'll be 100% honest. There is some caffeine in our product. We use organic white tea, organic black tea, and organic green tea, which are naturally time released throughout the day into your body. That is actually a cleaner caffeine than synthetic caffeine, which is coffee, energy drinks, and supplements like that. It is less if you take 2 women's capsules and a full shake and the regular square DFT, it's only 55 milligrams of caffeine, which is about the same size as a small Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And I say Dunkin' Donuts because Starbucks is way stronger. So it's not like a small Starbucks, it's like a small Dunkin' Donuts cup of coffee. So if I go off it, which I have had to for surgeries and different things like that, you have to go off vitamins for surgeries. I have gone off of it before for a full week. And all I felt was I actually felt fine for the first day. Second day, I felt really tired. Third day, I had a little bit of a headache and I realized I hadn't had a cup of coffee or anything in 3 days. So I just had a cup of hot green tea and I was fine. So, but then by day 4 or 5, I was like, oh my gosh, I am so dragging. I have that headache that I used to get all the time. I was sleeping like, 9 or 10 hours instead of just 8 hours like I usually do. So it's, just basically going back to feeling probably how you did before. And I've had some people who say for a couple weeks, they still kind of ride the Thrive wave and then they kind of have a drop and don't feel good again. So, and I have a lot of people too, I'll just be honest, in my family that will be on Thrive for 6 or 7 months and they'll stop for a couple months, usually in the summer, and usually just because they're forgetting, and then they start again in the fall. So it's fine.
Yeah. We have a comment in the chat from Harriet.
Oh.
She said, great presentation. I thrive and it took me a month to notice a difference. Difference. It's a great difference. Eliminated coffee and her pain reduced. Okay. Pain was
So
reduced.
I do have a, oh, sorry.
Thanks for sharing that. Oh, go ahead, Lauren.
Yep, I have a comment and then a follow-up question. But Blair, thank you very much for your time and for
Yeah.
giving a bit of your testimony. I appreciate that. I've looked at the Thrive website and Allison has answered a lot of my questions, and I do the 3 steps. But there are a lot of other products out there as well on the Thrive website, and it can be a bit overwhelming. What is your recommendation on where to start? Is it start with the 3 steps and then add things as needed, or what is your recommendation for folks? Because it can be a bit overwhelming with all the different choices and options that are out there.
Totally. Yeah, that's such a great question. So when I started 8 years ago, it was just the 3 steps. And actually, they just come out with the DFT. So it was 2 steps, and like a week later, they came out with the DFT. So I always say the Thrive experience, because that's what really reduces inflammation. And now that I have learned so much about inflammation over the years, it is a killer. So in my opinion, reducing the inflammation, start filling in your nutritional gaps is the most important. So in my opinion, it's the 3 steps of the Thrive experience. We do have a new 10-day detox that just came out this fall. That's pretty amazing. Or actually, I guess it's been a year now. That's pretty amazing because it's a heavy metal as well as an organ and a blood detox. And so my holistic nurse and doctor have told me I should recommend that people start with the 10-day detox and then move into Thrive so that they clean out their system and then they get the best Thrive experience possible. However, it is not easy, that 10-day detox. And so in my opinion, that's the whole reason I love Thrive, is because it's simple and easy and I don't have to think about it the rest of the day. I do all 3 steps first thing in the morning, boom, I'm done. So my opinion is the 3 steps of the Thrive experience. If you have a lot of ailments, a lot of problems, and you want to try the 10-day detox first, that might be a great idea, and then move into the 3 steps. But I personally would start with the 3 steps because you're going to feel something in that first month and start to, really take care of your body and reduce the inflammation.
Lauren,
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a really good question, because there are a lot of other things that people could, see and say, "Oh my goodness, there's so much here. Where do I begin?" Blair, if you would highlight you talked about the 10-day detox is tough. If you would share why that is, and before you do, I do want to share with folks, it's not the type of detox that had me running to the restroom.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's very simple. You think detox and you're like, oh, okay, I can't leave the house. This one, in my experience, was not I can't leave the house detox. But Blair, can you share what made it a challenge? Because
Yeah.
it is good. It is good. It's
Yeah.
great.
Okay, so I think there's a couple things. So it's 10 days. We give you capsules for the morning and the evening. So you get these 3 capsules that you take first thing in the morning, 3 capsules in the evening. During the day, during those 10 days, we want you to eat plant-based. So for me, I'm vegan. That's actually pretty easy. But you can have no meat, no seeds, no nuts, and you're trying to have, a lot of like vegetables and fruits and beans, and you can even have white rice, which to me was kind of a treat. And so, there's that part isn't difficult. It's just prepping. And we actually have an amazing Facebook group that we've created, Allison and our team and it's full of amazing recipe ideas, easy, simple. And there's lots of choices on the go as well. I think when I say it's difficult, what I mean is that you have to go off of your Thrive. So like for me, I love my 3 steps every day and I know how I'm going to feel. So going off of it, the first couple of days of detox, it is detoxing your body. So although I didn't have to run to the toilet, I did feel a little bit tired and sluggish, and my body just kind of didn't feel great. Actually, I even had some joint discomfort for a couple of days, and then it went away and I felt amazing. I also don't drink coffee or anything like that because Thrive just made me not want it anymore. And then I got off of it and all my stomach issues seemed to go away. And again, that first month that I was on Thrive, I'm not sure if it was from getting off of coffee or if it's just because of Thrive. So I've never really gone back to coffee. And so during those 10 days, I'm not taking my normal Thrive that has caffeine in it. And I'm also doing the detox. So for me, those 10 days were really difficult. And when you know how good you can feel on Thrive, it's very hard to go off for 10 days and be like, oh, I can't remember anything. I'm not sleeping good at night. I'm getting headaches. Like for me, it was very difficult because it was like going backwards, but I knew it was important for my body and I knew it was good. And my holistic nurse kept pushing me to do it. So I've done it twice. You're supposed to do it every 90 days, but this last round, I just couldn't even get past day 5. I was like, I'm going back on my Thrive. So it's important and it's good for you, but for me, it's difficult. It's not even the eating part. It's the being off at Thrive part.
That's helpful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, what made it a challenge. Any other, and I know Harriet had some great success with the detox. I've only done the detox once. I have another round waiting for me to do at some point, but I'm like, before Thanksgiving? No, after Thanksgiving, before Christmas. So, but Harriet had some great results, weight loss, because you're getting rid of those, like the fat that holds all this gunk in it, and kept it off. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I do have a question around kind of the weight loss. So Allison, on your pamphlet, I know you had pictures of folks before and after, and they looked great. I mean, they looked good before, but they looked great after as well. And so would you say the Thrive experience led to that body transformation? Or because they had that extra energy, they were able to work out and do certain things, and then therefore that led to that body transformation? Or is it a combination? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
Yeah,
could somebody continue doing what they're doing, do the 3 steps, and see amazing transformation?
Do you want me to answer that, Allison?
if I could take a stab at it to start, and then hand the baton over to you, Blair. Lauren, that's a really great question. So I know many people have seen the photos that I showed, the before and afters, and I always like to tell people that the Thrive 3-step experience is not a weight loss program. It's just not. It's not touted as being a weight loss program, but a byproduct of that can often be, for some people, weight loss. And it happens, I think, for a number of reasons. People get motivated to do things differently. Not only do they have more energy, but their head gets in the right space, and they're like, man, if I'm doing all these, this is how I felt it. If I'm doing all these great things for myself, like my insides, I want to start moving my body and doing more, and I have the energy to do it, and I want to do it. So there's that, and then there's the piece where the cravings. We've talked about people's cravings dropping off the face of the earth. Like, people don't want coffee. Well, a lot of times people are drinking creamer with their coffee, or coffee with their creamer, and that is just a bunch of calories. Well, if you're not enjoying coffee anymore, or craving that, or sweets, because some people, they're just like, I just don't feel like, for me, for example, if you heard me tell my story, I am what I would call, or what I call, a cabinet hunter. Like Steve Irwin was the crocodile hunter. At like 10:30, 11 at night, I'd go down to the cabinet and be like, what can I eat? What can I eat? And it was so much like savory things, Sometimes it was sweet, but it was savory, and I felt like I had to eat stuff. Well, when I started the 3 steps, and especially, I love this particular vitamin patch, the Dermafusion Technology patch. I love it because it is, in fact, helps with craving reduction. So I know people who love intermittent fasting, and the system, especially this particular patch, in my opinion, or the Ultra patch, those two help reduce cravings. They help. The word I've learned over the years is satiety. Like, it's kind of helps to suppress your appetite a bit, so you aren't consuming all of the unnecessary calories throughout the day. So obviously calories are good. We need them to exist, but it helps folks in that way. So for some people, weight loss is a byproduct, and I think that's quite common. But I do know someone, Blair, there's someone on our team who is looking to gain weight. There are people who are looking to gain weight, and then it helped in that way too. So that's, Lauren, hopefully that helps.
I always say it's a lifestyle change. So we do have a big product coming out soon that is specifically geared towards weight loss, but I always tell people it's a lifestyle change. So like, when my customers start to say things like, oh my gosh, Blair, I was craving water today, I'll say, great. Now our goal is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day, because that's, a really important thing. Oh, I have so much more energy. Great. Are you getting active every day? Are you having physical activity? Can we get you to 30 minutes a day? Then can we get you, to maybe going to try some weights now that you've been walking every day, things like that. Oh, I feel so good. I don't feel like I need to eat as much. Great. So how about at lunch, you switch out having that cheeseburger and fries to having a nice salad with salmon on top. So it's lifestyle changes. And guess what? Lifestyle changes keep you at that new weight for longer, right? Our goal isn't to help you drop 50 pounds and then you gain it back in a year, because there's nothing helpful or healthy about that.
Thank you, Allison and Blair.
Yep. Good question. And we have another comment from Harriet in the chat. I lost 7 pounds and did not gain it back. Have since lost 20 pounds, thriving and exercising. So, yeah. And I think she's referring to, I lost 7 pounds from the detox. I think it was from the detox. Yeah. Yeah. Michael, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. All right. I don't know, Michael, if you might have a question. We have a few more minutes. Or if you've been on long enough to have a question. If not, you can always go back and watch the replay. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, Blair, for answering those questions. Thanks. Those are good questions, Janelle and Lauren. Oh,
Another question?
We have another question.
So is there a way to gear this to a particular issue, such as I do not sleep good due to menopause? So is there a way to gear this? I don't have gut issues or headaches or any aches and pains, really. I just cannot sleep.
Yeah.
Is there a way to gear it around what an issue is?
Yeah, so we have plenty of extra products that we were talking about earlier that we didn't share tonight. So we have some specifically geared towards sleep. But I will tell you that I'm actually in menopause right now too, as you saw my hot flash earlier. So for me, I have actually, the 3 steps of Thrive help me to sleep great. And so I've actually never even taken one of our extra sleep products, but I do have friends that are currently going through menopause. Like I'm a kid you not, there's 10 of us that are right now all at the exact same age, are all going through menopause. And so we have this thread, we always joke around about it. And a few of them are doing the 3 steps of Thrive. And one of them is doing the sleep gummies. One of them does, we have a gel packet. The gel packet one has a little stronger of a melatonin, and the sleep gummies have a little bit of melatonin, but they also have a lot of other things. So both of them, you don't wake up with that like melatonin headache that sometimes people get, or grogginess. So you wake up feeling like clear and ready to take on the day. But I have to be honest and say, I've never even tried them, because since I've been thriving, when my head hits that pillow, I'm asleep and I do not wake up until that alarm goes off in the morning. Well, since menopause, I do wake up once in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom soaked in sweat. I'm in the middle of the sweating stage. Like I'm in the sweating stage right now. So that's probably the only thing, but it's not like a problem of sleeping. It's like I wake up and go to the bathroom, go right back to sleep. So yeah, I would say start with the 3 steps. And if you're not getting the result you want after a week, then we can definitely sample you with some of our sleep products and see if that helps too. But most people do notice a difference with just the 3 steps, but there are a few people who need a little extra.
Oh no, actually, I was thinking maybe I did when I had acknowledged his presence. Let's see here. And yes, Harriet says she lost 7 pounds from the detox and just kept working it off. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Well, this is good. I think well, we could sit here for 5 minutes and just look at each other, but but I don't want to keep folks on longer than necessary. But I do want to say, if you are interested in getting going, I am prepared to help you this evening get started and get going. So sorry, I'm like looking here and here, and get going this evening if that's something you'd like to do. So, and of course, I'm always available for any questions to help kind of round things off. So.
Well, thank you all so much for having me on. It was so great. I always love sharing. So thank you.
Thank you, Blair.
Thanks, Blair.
Yes, thank you very much.
And thanks for joining in, Lauren, and I'll just say mommy.
Hi,
Oh yeah, Molly, this is Janelle. We met her at the what do you call it?
Downton
The
Abbey
Downton Abbey
preview.
yeah, premiere for the second movie when we took those photos. All right. Okay, well, thank you, Blair, so much. And thank you everybody for hopping on. Oh, said hi.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.